Okay, and now we're here at the garden and we're going to actually do some pruning of the grapevines. As we spoke about earlier, we'll come off to our cordons and we want to spur every 6 inches or so because they fruit on new growth from last year's growth or the previous year's growth. We're going to then find our nodes and trim. So coming from our cordons about 6 inches, we find last year's growth, the previous year's growth, and then last year's growth. We have 2 nodes, 1, 2, and we're going to clip. From here, 6 inches to our next spur, the previous year's growth, we have last year's growth, so we'll again clip at 2 nodes, 1, 2, and let that come away. 6 inches between your spurs, we have a growth here that came off of a dormant bud last year, but because it's within that 6 inches, we'll take that off altogether. That brings us to our spur, the previous year, and then we have last year's growth, 2 nodes. We'll clip there, and from here, 2 nodes, 1 node here, 1 node here, a little closer. We'll clip, and then we'll pull that away. And as you can see, as we clip through this, you will end up with literally a skeleton of what we started with. Our last spur, 6 inches. We've got the previous year's growth. We look for last year's growth, 2 nodes. I'm not sure if you can see in the back there. We're going to clip, and then we're able to pull that away. This is the basic example of pruning and maintaining your muscadine. Eventually these spurs will be about 12 inches off of your cordon. At that point you would do a hard pruning where you would come back to the cordon, find your 2 main nodes, and you would clip there and start the process all over again to rejuvenate your vine. This is again the basics of your muscadine pruning. Thank you for your time, and remember to visit your local extension center.